trying to remember what came next. I think it was the thing, and it was the thing that, well, that was sold with no. And that's when like the buyer's remorse comes in, because it's like, oh well, this I have like a lot of seen it games, and I like the seen it. I love playing it, but last time I've ever played it with you guys, like your mom's like, this isn't fun to play because this is the stuff that you're into, and you're really super knowledgeable, so it's not fun to play. And I think like I actually might have this one. I come to think of it, but for what the guy only wanted 2 quarters for it, and I was like, you know what, it's fine. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't get played with, that's fine. It'll just go with the rest of my Seen It collection. I mean, we talked about maybe playing Seen It on the show, and I'm like, yeah. Well, it'll be nothing but copyright strikes. We almost picked up Garbage Pail Kids. Mm-hmm. I think they were 12th edition.
Mm-hmm. They had the little like sticks of bubble gum.
They still had. She wanted me to eat the bubble gum too. I was like, Dad, we'll get these, and you can eat the bubble gum. I'd like they were.
You can try the old, crusty, crumbly old bubble gum.
Well, though I don't know like where this stuff has been stored. My only drawback was that there was only like 5 cards per pack. They were like really thin packs. And I'm like, I mean, the price point was okay for Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, I don't even think you could get modern Garbage Pail Kids for what he wanted for those. I'd have to look back and see, like, what are the memorable characters from the 12th edition. 12th edition is probably when it just started going, like, down the hill. There's actually, at one particular edition, they got sued by the Cabbage Patch makers. Mm-hmm. And I think the courts ruled in favor of the Cabbage Patch people. So the art for the Garbage Pail Kids drastically changed so that they didn't look like the dolls anymore. Which I'm assuming that must have been lifted at some point or whatever, because the modern cards go back to looking like the retro cards. So I guess like the retro aspect of it like sells more. But there's a point in time when they stopped looking like, and they just kind of looked like the eyes were just drawn wrong and everything else. I gotta save my bib fortune. I gotta hold this up. I gotta hold this up. Heck, you don't even need to be in the bag.
I was waiting for you to take them out.
He's out, and he's gonna achuta ho ho ho. But yeah, so I don't know if like 12th edition marks when they started doing that. They had like these big cards too, which they were marked what they sold for back then, but I don't know if he wanted more for them. And it's like, if I were to buy these big cards, I want like the titular characters. Yeah. I want Atom Bomb or Skelly Kelly or any of those other ones, versus what you could see on the covers, and they were like the same 5.
Yeah.
He had a big stack. I don't know what's sandwiched in between, but what it was, just judging what was on the top,
they're all the same.
Yeah, they were all the same. I mean, one was it was not Skelly Kelly, but it was Boney Bonnie, which I think that's their alternate names. She was on the cover of one of them. Like, I don't know if Boney Bonnie would sell it for me. I think I'd be in on one pack, or at least one pack, if it was Atom Bomb. Let me take care of this for you. There was a guy. He had a lot of. He had what was it? Derpy. It was Derpy, but what was the?
It was like a little girl.
Was it the Equestrian Heroes or something like that?
Human.
Yeah, it was the human version of Derpy.
Ponies,
and it was still named Derpy, wasn't
it?
So you're like, Dad, this is actually named Derpy.
Yeah, I picked it up, and because we were talking about how like Derpy is pretty much nowhere.
Hasbro doesn't like to support the name Derpy. Derpy is kind of a fan name for that character, and Hasbro doesn't really back that character. So a lot of times when she appears in the cartoon, she has a different name, and I don't think she keeps the eyeballs and stuff like that, because I think Hasbro thinks that they are making fun of mentally disabled people.
Yeah.
And the fans aren't really recognizing it as that. They're recognizing it as a character who's just trips, like you, trips over their feet, and it's just Derpy.
Yeah.
And just like, and it's not making fun of a set of people.
Like
so I think there's
relief, essentially, kind of.
So I think that there's there's like the fans see it this way, which is a little bit more of a PC way, and then the toy maker wants to separate themselves. They don't want to get in trouble, because like we were even like There was a day we were going through your My Little Pony comics, and there's quite a few of the comics that have Derpy on the cover, and Doctor Who's, because I think Doctor Who's must be official canon. And we was like, I'm surprised that these guys are in the comics, but I think the comics might operate a little bit outside the license a bit than say like the comic, or not the comic book, the cartoon. So yeah, I was surprised to see the Derpy. I mean, I had to give up my Djinn Djarin for this. Because it's like, yeah, I'm a little bit spent, Dad. And I'm like, all right. But Djinn Djarin is like the same thing. Like the 3-inch Djinn Djarin with the original uniform. And it's like, you know what? I'll get you this. I will continue to hunt for Djinn Djarin. If I go back to GameStop another day when I have enough funds for that, and Djinn Djarin's still there, it was meant to be, right? And if he's not there, well, it's just the fun of hunt. I mean, that's the thing that I like, is the fun of the hunt. And, you know, and the other thing that I was kind of talking about in the car was like, I'm kind of like in the mode where I actually kind of like the 6-inch figures a little bit more. And it's getting weird where the 3 3/4 figures at a price point are like only like $1 or $2 different than the 6-inch figures. And it's like, well, if I'm going to spend basically the same, I'd rather have like the 6-inch Djinn Djarin, which I do. He's over there, and the costume, the one that I like. So it's like, so I don't know. Like I don't know. Like I kind of want it for the. If I got it, it wouldn't be something out of the box. It'd be something in the box. But I think, all in all, we briefly talked about this on the podcast where I'd rather have the baby Grogu, which I saw, and that was a figure I had to give up at a different time because the box was like, because that, you know, again, I think that something like that I may just keep in the box, and I'm like, you have the plushie. I'll get you the plushie. I will give up Djinn, and we will have something to hunt later down the road. That's fine. I'm always into the thrill of the hunt. It's always the fun aspect of collecting. I mean, I think I like that. I like that aspect a little bit more than the actual collecting aspect sometimes. Because then the collecting aspect is like, this has got so much freaking dust on it that I don't know if I enjoy it now because it's just dirty.
I think eventually it'll pay off more so because you'll find something that you've been looking for a really long time and you'll be able to see it. Like, it's dusty, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean, even when it was like if I find the Djinn at a later time, I mean, that could be the hit or miss too, where it's like I had this in my hand and it was X amount of dollars, and now I have to buy it at $60 if I want it, and you're like, I missed out. I mean, that's the only calling for the 3 3/4 is it's the first one of its line, and I kind of want it for the first of its line versus wanting it, you know, wanting it for wanting it. I shouldn't say that because I don't want to say that, but I'm going to say that. And there was a lot of things that we left behind where it's like the Djinn Djarin thing where it's like. There was like popcorn tin because I started collecting the power popcorn tins. It's like popcorn tins and like lunch boxes I started collecting, and I have it was the popcorn tin for Rogue One, and I'm like I need to rein it in at this point. And I'm like, if that tin is there when I come back, I'll get it. I mean, you did that with a few things as well. They're like, oh, there's this thing if it's there when I come back, it'll be there.
I really like decorating my room and having a whole bunch of like things all over everywhere just so that I can just look around and be like, oh, hey, shiny, something new stuff to catch my attention. And I've wanted like road signs in my room, but I don't want to go out and like steal them.
Yeah, because I think that's illegal.
Yeah.
I'm like when you're pointing out the stop sign that's there, I'm like, I'm not 100% sure this is legal. I mean, there was a second stop sign, but at least it was off a bus.
It was off of a bus.
And I'm like, well, at least they may have like demoed the bus, so they probably just pulled that. So I don't know the legality of it. I don't know the legality of the signs. I know some people that machine the stop signs, like so they're not really from the. Yeah, I don't steal, folks.
Don't steal signs.
Don't steal. We do not advocate stealing signs.
No steal signs.
Like we were looking at the Star Wars Pez, which was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
She's like, why does this mark Star Wars?
I was sitting there for like 50, like we were in that stall for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Yes,
and
making fun of everything.
And the whole time I was sitting there like, something's not right here. As I pull out this big tray of like
It was Lord of the Rings.
Lord of
It was
the
a Lord of the
Rings
Rings set.
just set of Pez that had the little sticker tag on it that said Star Wars.
And there's the Star Wars set. I have the Star Wars set. There is one out there, and I know that there's a Lord of the Rings and there's a 35th anniversary Next Generation Star Trek set. But you're just like gawking at this, and I'm like I'm like, what's wrong? And I'm looking, and I'm like, because like it's funny because all the hobbits are half size. The dwarf is half size, and then like the elf and everybody else are full size, and Schmeagol was half size. The Gollum was half size, and I'm like, what? Well, they're half size because they're hobbits.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be half size. And like, if anything that I could argue about was like the dwarf was the exact same size as the hobbits, or like, well, maybe the dwarf should be just a little bit bigger. Like it should have had like a measurement right in between, or just made like his helmet a little bit taller so he looked a little bit taller. I was like, what is wrong? And then you point up and it's like Star Wars. I'm like, because I'm like, okay, because I'm having the same conundrum over here, and I pull up a tray that is marked Xena Princess Warrior, and there's 3 toys in it, and it's Xena the Princess Warrior. They got that one right, but then it was Jean Grey turning into the Phoenix, where she had the see-through. It was the fire hair, but it was see-through, so that you could shine a light through it and it looked like she was on fire, and so it was the Phoenix. And it was the green suit Phoenix at that. So it was pre-Dark Phoenix. It was the Phoenix, Jean Grey, and I'm trying to remember the third one. I think I classified the third one from being from Silverhawks. I wasn't 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it was like a Happy Meal toy. So I'm like, at least the Xena and the Jean Grey kind of matched because they were in the same like size.
Yeah.
But this thing was like way puny, and I'm pretty sure it was like a Silverhawks character. And I'm like, only one thing in this pack is actually Xena.
Yeah. And it was like Xena Warriors set.
Yes. And
Like-
they had like a Hercules set.
Yeah.
And the Hercules set was right. It had Hercules, it had Xena, it had I can't recall the characters, but it had the characters. It had the right characters. But it is like we were just like pulling out the every other set and just like, oh look at this.
Like, what is this?
So this is actually not for our show, but this is going to be a gift for somebody who likes these things. We know somebody that likes cows, so we got them a cow salt and pepper shaker, which I'm pretty sure this person is not going to use. They'll have it on display. They will love the fact that it's purple. I almost wanted to get the creamer because the creamer was colored with them as well, but we were getting in deep at that point. But yeah, this we'll show these off. This is a gift for someone. Hopefully, this gift goes to that someone before this video airs.
Yeah.
If not, surprise! You're getting cows.
Surprise.
We'll put them out. Why not? Why not? And there was 2 of those, so we were looking at the paint job and just testing out the joints. They were pretty solid. Like nobody played with these, I don't think. And of course, watch them be modern reprints. Watch they're from the '90s line. Although I'm pretty sure that Bib Fortuna is not, because this is the kind of thing that they did in the 70s. Because the Obi-Wan was like this as well. Although, I found a Kylo Ren, and I picked it up, and the Kylo Ren was like that. And I said, this is actually a throwback to the 70s. Made in Hong Kong, 1983. So yeah, this would be appropriate. 83, because this is Return of the Jedi. These 2 would be Empire, so they would be like late 70s. I don't know if I could see. Oh, 1980. Yeah, this is 1980.
1980.
Yeah. Okay, so these aren't the red box reprints. If they were red box reprints, they'd be buff and they'd have huge muscles and everything. I guess I will start because of course, for whatever reason, I'm the one that ends up with the bigger haul than this one over here, who's like, oh, I'm a bad influence and I influence you all the time. But it's like, I just kept buying things after buying things, and I'm having buyer's remorse afterwards, like, why did I do that? And then it's like, oh, a Pez dispenser. I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit. But the thing with the wedding of Jean Grey and Scott is that Wolverine's in love with Jean Grey as well, so there's always kind of this love triangle and stuff. So you would think that he'd be in the book more than he is. Maybe in the cartoon they didn't tackle that issue as much. They probably didn't want to.
I'd imagine not.
He for some reason has a thing for redheads. It's like Jean Grey and I can't think of like some of the others. Yeah. Oh, well, you're into stormtroopers. Well, you'll like this. And she kept pointing at this thing. We are going to, hold on. 4, 3, 2, no, it means we're out of space. So then she was, oops, off the table. So then she was trying to, I can't wear the headphones. I haven't been wearing the headphones this entire time. I can't wear the headphones now. And I need to start the camera, or start the countdown. All right, and 3, 2, 1. And she's trying to sell me a first order trooper. And I was just like, oh, I'm not really into the stormtrooper stuff like that. I like the Sith and stuff. Coming from a person who 5 seconds ago just bought a stormtrooper. I mean, I guess the difference is that's a classic stormtrooper versus the new first order troopers. Without showing you, they are like the 1970s edition of. Are you having fun over there? Mm-hmm. I kind of want this figure because I don't think I've ever had. All right. Make me pretty. Let me even put the angry side up. It's because Bib Fortuna's near him, and he doesn't like it because nobody likes Bib. I'm gonna make a TV show. Everybody hates Bib Fortuna, and it's gonna be airing on Bestow TV in the fall of next year. Everybody hates Bib Fortuna, including like LucasArts.
I'll tell you what, he can go on your side.
Oh, he's going on my side.
Yeah.
Oh. Can't really put him sideways. He doesn't belong sideways. How about there, and you can still see him. Although it should be on my side because he's my toy, not yours. So let's agree to disagree. We have to find those little comics that we have. We have comics that are like this big, and we should have like Luke reading Stan a comic.
They could have like a different one every episode.
It'd be hilarious if it's a DC comic at that. Although I know they're all Marvel comics, the ones that we have. They're the ultimate comics. Yes, a stormtrooper and a stupid Yoda. Yodis? Odie. Give me this. This is mine.
No. Let's go to bed.
Fine,
now.
this is mine.
No!
I gave up to Jin DeJaren for this.
Not my baby.
Here, you give me this and you can have this.